Hey everyone. So since we can't get together to exchange food this year, the closest we can come is sharing the recipes of the foods we would have brought. Now as a mutt with no less than 7 different ethnicities, there really hasn't been a prevailing food culture that's been handed down to me, but I do have my grandma Paroline's marinara sauce. So today I'd like to share the Paroline marinara sauce, or parinara if you will. You're gonna need the following: 3 large cans of whole peeled tomatoes. I use San Marzano as I am genetically obligated to do so. 12 ounces of tomato paste, 1 large Spanish or white onion, 1 large green pepper, 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, or 6, or 8, whatever, I'm not your mom, 1 cup of cooking wine. Now you want a nice dry red for this, something that won't add too much sweetness to the sauce, and won't destroy your palate as you proceed to finish the rest of the bottle. Now for herbs, we have 2 tablespoons of dried oregano and 1 tablespoon each of dried basil and parsley. Now you want to use dried herbs here, as this sauce has a long cook time, and fresh herbs will simply become soggy and flavorless, like most other aspects of my life. And last but not least, some salt and pepper to taste. Let's start prepping these ingredients, shall we? You want a nice fine mince on your garlic. You could also press it, but pressed garlic doesn't stand up quite as well to long cook times. Now when it comes to herbs and spices, you get much more flavor and bang for your buck if you buy them whole and grind them yourself. Not unlike marijuana. Now we're ready to get cooking. First step is to get a few tablespoons of olive oil shimmering on medium heat, and then saute the onions and peppers until they're sweating like Donald Trump on election night, about 5 minutes or so. Now you want to add your garlic and saute it quickly, about 30 seconds to a minute, as garlic is much more sensitive to being burned. Now add in your tomato paste and spices and stir just long enough for everything to come together and for the paste to form a bit of fond on the bottom of the pan. Now it's time to deglaze that mixture with your red wine. The wine not only adds some flavor notes, but the alcohol is able to solvate some flavor compounds that water cannot by forming a mixture called an azeotrope. After a minute or so, it's time to add in your tomatoes. Whole tomatoes can be crushed by hand ahead of time, or to save time, crushed against the side of the pot with your spoon once added. At this point, you'll want to reduce it to a low simmer and add a couple cups of water as you're in for a good 6-hour cook time. Give it a stir every half hour or so, and add more water if it gets too thick. Otherwise, you can use this time to read a book, watch some TV, or my personal favorite, wallow in existential dread. And with that, the cooking is done. A long cook time has resulted in a sauce that's deep, earthy, and has had most of the sweetness cooked out of it, not unlike the members of the Paroline family. Just salt and pepper to taste, and your sauce is complete. The next step is to cook up some spaghetti, rigatoni, or your pasta of choice. To finish the dish, return it to low heat and toss it up with the sauce, some reserved pasta water, olive oil, and some fresh grated Parmesan. Now just plate it up with some additional sauce and additional fresh grated Parmesan, and you too can experience that great Paroline taste. Until next time, bon appetit.